Okay, you guys, hello. So, on the thumbnail, you saw a picture of a young lady, and I titled it The Woman Behind the Freeing of Alice Johnson. Now, let me find a picture of Alice Johnson so I can remind you of who she is, okay? Alice Johnson. Okay. If you guys don't know, this is the one who was in federal prison for 22 years. She was from Memphis. Okay. And I'm just going to show you a little picture of her if you guys can see her. Okay. That's a picture of Alice Johnson. Okay. And so here's what happened. I was giving somebody a ride. I do Lyft still on the side, even though I started working as a OT, occupational therapist, full time. I still do Lyft on the side. And I was giving a lady a ride. It was a Caucasian lady. I was giving a ride from a restaurant. This was in West Hollywood, between West Hollywood, Beverly Hills. And so we started talking about first we started talking about how a lot of this stuff, all this propaganda and stuff is pushed to continue to keep people separated, to keep people in a type of civil war. Okay. And then she mentioned Alice Johnson and Kim Kardashians. Okay. Um, no, actually, I mentioned the Kardashians. I mentioned the Kardashians because I talked about how so many people are so easily controlled by media. Uh, and then I mentioned about, how they'd rather look at something like the Kardashians. So I brought up the Kardashians first. Okay. And then she said, who do you think helped Alice Johnson? And so she brought up a woman named Sean Holly, which is the lady in the thumbnail. Okay. When you click on the video, before you click on the video, you see a lady in a thumbnail. That's Alice Johnson. That is Kim Kardashian's attorney. Okay. Now, you won't find this particular story that I'm about to tell you. You will not find it in any articles because I guess they signed some kind of agreement. But this is what this lady told me when I was giving her a ride. She said that lady, Sean Holly, that lady in the thumbnail, has been trying to help free Alice Johnson since the Obama years, and she could not get anywhere. So what she did under Trump was that she spoke to her client, Kim Kardashian, because sometimes a lot of these celebrities can get a little further, and if Kim Kardashian, she um has that privilege. She's a Kardashian and a popular, but she also has privilege because of her ethnicity as well. Um, and so the the lawyer came up with the idea. Sean Holly came up with the idea and said, "Well, let me get Kim Kardashian involved, and we can probably go a lot further." And so they changed the story around to look like Kim Kardashian actually went to Sean Holly, and Sean Holly, and her helped this woman. But so I'm going to read from this article. Okay, this is the story that they decided to use. Oh, okay. It's it's superlawyers.com. It's www.superlawyers.com. And the title of it is called Inside the White House with Sean Holly and Kim Kardashian: How the LA Attorney and Her Client Helped Free Alice Marie Johnson. It was published on June 21st, 2018. So it says, how did the White House come about? If it's come about, okay. Back in October, Kim forwarded an article to me about Alice. This is Sean Holly talking. Back in October, Kim forwarded an article to me about Alice, and she said, Let's try to help this woman to see if we can get her out of prison because Alice's story is really compelling. And you can just see what a lovely person she is. Now, this is supposedly what Kim Kardashian said to this lawyer, Sean Hawley. Now this is Sean Hawley speaking again. I looked into her case and saw that one of the organizations that had been championing her cause over the years was Can Do, a clemency organization. And we just started working together and figuring out what paperwork we needed to get together for Kim. On her end, Kim contacted Ivanka Trump, who put her in touch with Jared Kushner. There were times when it seemed like there was a lot of momentum and things were happening quickly. Other times there was a lull. But ultimately, we were working to get Mr. Kushner the things he said he needed to get before the president, such as Alice has a number of letters of support, including from the warden, which is very unusual, and state legislators. Just hundreds of letters of support. They wanted all of that. Some of the records from her file. She didn't have any infractions the entire time she was in prison. She became an ordained minister. She learned hospice care. Any possible certificate of learning or rehabilitation that was offered there, she took and passed. She was the playwright in the prison. We got all of that together to provide to Jared and ultimately to Mr. Trump. And when did the White House say, come on by? Okay. There were lots of stops and starts. Ultimately, we were given the date of May 30th. That happened to be Alice's birthday, so we felt that was a good sign. We spent all of our time on the plane, most of it anyway, strategizing, going over our file, and looking at the things we wanted to emphasize. We were in a little briefing room before we went in to see the president. We met with Jared and his associates and talked a bit about what was the most important things to emphasize. About a few minutes later, we went in. There were 5 chairs arranged in front of the president's desk for Jared and his associate, me and Kim, and the White House counsel, Don McGahn. Had you been to the Oval Office before? No, this is what Holly says, okay? This is Holly speaking. There's no way really of preparing yourself for the experience of being in a room like that. I'm sure we were all a little nervous, but also very excited because we had been planning for this meeting for 7 months. We talked with the president for probably 20 minutes. There was some friendly chit chat in the beginning. Then he said, tell me about this woman that you guys are here about. But he obviously knew about her ahead of time because he pretty quickly said, I think we should let her out. Did he ask any other questions? This is what the interviewer is asking Sean Hawley, the attorney. Did he ask any other questions? Really nothing, says Hawley. Other than how long had she been in there? Kim talked about the emotional part of it and the mistake that she'd made that she, Alice, had accepted responsibility for. I talked about her life prior to going to prison and the life that she will have upon her release from prison. We both talked about her stellar record in prison, which was significant because there was really no reason for her to think she was getting out. It was life without the possibility of parole. So she did all of these things in prison without any realistic expectation of ever getting out. It was just because that's who she is. Okay. So anyway, that's the story that's being put out about how this woman uh, became free. And the credit is given to Kim Kardashian for forwarding the article to this attorney, Sean Hawley, and said, let's try to help this woman to see if we can get her out of prison because Alice's story is really compelling. No, that's not the story that Sean Hawley's friend told me when I was giving her a ride home, okay, last night. The story is that Sean Hawley, this attorney, and I'm gonna find her picture again. Okay? This attorney right here has been trying to help Alice Johnson, and she has been trying to help Alice Johnson under the Obama administration, but she could not get anywhere, okay? And so what she did under the Trump administration, hold on a second. So what she did under the Trump administration is team up with Kim Kardashian because Kim Kardashian is her client. And she figured that Kim Kardashian can get a lot further than she could, and she was right. Okay? But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. I will post this article under the video, but there's nowhere where the truth is really out there about her actually trying to help free Alice Johnson prior to the Kim Kardashian meeting with the White House. They totally changed that story to make it seem like Kim Kardashian really wanted to help free her when it was actually Alice Johnson, not Alice Johnson, but Sean Hawley, the attorney who already knew about Alice Johnson's story and wanted to free her and could get nowhere under Obama, you know, the one black people love. She could get nowhere under the Obama administration. And so under the Trump administration, she kind of commissioned Kim Kardashian, and they came up with this story in this article. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon.